Sophie.
Oh, hey, Andrew. On break already?
No, not yet. I have to deliver something to our VIP guest.
Again?
Again?
Yeah, the requests just keep on coming. What about you? Aren't you supposed to be in 509?
I'm heading up now. I just had to grab Linda's master key before I could continue our investigation.
Ah, gotcha. What a day, huh? Tending to an eccentric VIP guest, discovering, well, what you discovered in 505. Pretty exciting as far as a workday at the Clarington goes.
Yeah, that's definitely one way.
There might be a way to end this
That's not
game
all, though.
with a happy thing.
I was looking for my keys, and I heard someone crying in the bathroom.
You sure it's not the old Clarington ghost again?
What?
No, it's Wendy. She's pretty upset.
What happened?
I'm not completely sure, but I think it has something to do with the graffiti I found on Linda's door.
The graffiti?
It's 2 words in red lipstick. Hypocrite, bitch.
Well, Wendy would certainly have a good motive for writing that. You'd have to be living under a rock to miss how Linda's been treating her lately.
I don't think she wrote it. That's not what that option says, you clown.
I get Wendy's frustrations with Linda, but vandalizing her door? Isn't that a bit much?
I guess she needed to get it out of her system.
Well, maybe she should have tried talking to Linda first. I know she can be harsh, but it can't be easy dealing with Bernard. She must be under a lot of pressure.
Oh, talking it out would be the more productive option for sure. Sadly, that instinct doesn't come easy to most people.
Yeah, you're right.
Interpersonal conflict makes for a good read, but in real life it can be a bit much to deal with. You've
Right.
always been good at staying above it.
I think I picked the wrong
You get
dialogue
along with
option.
everyone.
I think it comes from my mom. As a nurse during the war, she had to work with other people
Linda
in
is being too
very
harsh.
stressful situations.
That much is true.
And not let her emotions get the better of her. I don't know if I'm quite at her level yet, though.
Well, if you ask me, I'd say you're doing a great job of following in her footsteps.
Thanks, Andrew.
What I was trying to say is that I wanted to make sure that there's a happy ending for everybody involved. I'm hoping I can avoid getting Wendy fired. Maybe getting Linda fired instead, if that's an option. I tried going into the break room just now, so I still can't get my other key that I just left there. I see. It shows the option of Wendy shouldn't have done that. I thought it said Wendy wouldn't do something like that. I was sitting over in my bed, so I couldn't quite clearly see it. But you've also done this before. You should know what the options are.
Yeah, Linda's been pretty bad to Wendy. I'm not surprised she snapped.
Remember her birthday? Bobby slipped her a slice of cake from the kitchen, and along came Linda to confiscate it, telling Wendy she was doing her a favor. I don't know how Wendy managed to keep her cool.
If it had been me, I probably would have burst into tears.
Yeah, interpersonal conflict makes for a good read, but in real life it can be a bit much to deal with. You've always been good at staying above it, though. You get along with everyone.
Okay, I'll flirt. Why not?
I don't think I get along with everyone, but some people are worth getting friendlier with. Like you.
Oh, thanks. I'm glad not everyone around here thinks I'm a complete bore. Wait till Beth hears this.
I should have flirted with Beth, too. I know. So this thing also has a bunch of scribbles on it. The conversation they were having in the cab that I read earlier. Can you guys turn your TV off? I think it was just some random guests. Linda and Bernard went to a different suite.
Not exactly a cherished gift. You just left it behind like this.
Liane, I guess, and Greg. So Greg and Liane? No, it's addressed to Liane from Gregory, telling her to enjoy her week in Montreal. Greg isn't here. He's asking her to not let Simone rope her into anything weird. So Liane and Simone are out here, you know, being a little bit more friendly. At first I thought it was Greg who rented the suite and started cheating on Liane, but no. Liane is cheating on him. Not that it's worse. I mean, both would be terrible options, but you just don't see that often, do you? Especially in the 1950s. What is wrong with you people? Well, not that I'm excusing cheating, but in the 1950s, there are expectations put on people, and especially women. If Liane and Simone are both, you know, attracted to people of the same sex, then what options do they really have? They might as well play along with societal norms while going after what they really want behind the scenes. It's not good, but what are they supposed to do? She probably doesn't have the option to go to San Francisco or New York. It's freaking expensive to live in those places, especially nowadays. I imagine it wasn't any cheaper to do it back then. Keep in mind that Marcella had to take out a bunch of money from her own account, as well as taking away Hector's life insurance, just so she and Anne could move to San Francisco with Michael. Right? But I also feel bad for Greg and Hector. If Greg finds out, he's going to be heartbroken. Hector would have been heartbroken too. They never said anything about him being an abusive spouse, so maybe he wouldn't be mad at Marcella or anything. Start treating her poorly. Maybe they could have actually talked to Hector about it. Come up with a plan where he's involved. He pretends that he's been killed, that he died. Maybe that he's been murdered. And then, you know, they get his life insurance so that they can pay for the expenses to live in San Francisco and stuff. But I think the fact that he was murdered actually is damning. I don't know if Anne, Marcella, or Paul did it. Maybe one of them hired somebody else to do it instead. No matter how you slice it, though, they're going to have to live with that for the rest of their lives. How do you live with something like that? I couldn't, but I'm also not a gay man living in the 1950s. So how am I supposed to relate? Yeah, this is also the room where the shoe in was dipped in chocolate. So throw that away. We don't need you guys leaving stuff like that here in your suite. It's gross.
My first step should be to tidy up a bit. Searching a clean room is easier than searching a messy one.
Yeah.
What were you apologizing for? And were you... I'll hold off on throwing this out just yet. The food's practically untouched.
This wasn't untouched. What even is that? Dried up water? Doesn't look like any dried up water I've ever seen.
SW. Looks like you had a few appointments with him, Mr. Cruz. Or her.
SW. SW. I don't think it's anybody we have in, here. The only person whose name starts with an S so far is Simone. I guess her last name could start with a W, but it was never mentioned. So we have no idea. No, it's not Andrew. Does that sound like Andy to you? I'm just gonna hang up. What if I just do that? Phone shot. What is that? I'm throwing a lot of stuff away, actually. Because why not? Hector's gonna die anyway. Oh, I get it.
Symbols. They look oddly familiar.
Now I'm finding more of the codes. So there's nothing marked next to the letters over on the right. So I still gotta go back and look for them. Look for the clues. But I threw some of those away. That's on you, man.